good morning, or good evening, or good night, or good grief. Welcome to the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com. I trust that you are well today. We are trying to do one part of this live and the other part recorded. So we are live and we are Memorex. Boy, that's an old reference. And that's only for some of y'all, because a lot of y'all are like, Memorex? What the hell's Memorex? Exactly. We got a lot to cover today. There is a push in Congress to protect Americans from medical mandates. And now it's happening in the House, so it only really shows how important it is to actually gain seats in the House of Representatives, how important that is for Republicans. But it is nice to see some pushback, even though we're pretty much sure this pushback's not going to go very far. We'll tell you who's doing it, and we're telling you who else is involved. All right, because at the same time, the President of the United States has decided that he is going to force that needle in your arm. He doesn't really care about anything else. He has told us that he has lost his patience. I don't really care about your patience. Our mayor of Tampa has been known to say about COVID that even if the science is 100% wrong, wear your mask. Even if you don't think it's going to rain, wear your galoshes. And the first thing I thought when I heard her say that, I'm sorry, I'm from that era. You ain't my mama. Who do you think you are? You my mama? And the first thing I had to say to Joe Biden when he said he's lost his patience, I'm like, you ain't my daddy. Shut up. Anybody ask you? Go get some Metamucil or something. Are we surprised? Something else we're going to cover. Were we surprised that with Governor Newsom back in the governor's mansion in California? Thank you, California. Bunch of losers. That he signed 2 bills this week. 2 bills that are going to piss you off. We'll talk about that when we get back. And the photographer who took pictures at the border. We've seen those pictures where the Border Patrol is whipping the Haitians. Okay. He's going. The photographer who took those photographs is going to speak up and let us know what really happened. And that's important. In the meantime, we'll be back with more of the Morning Report. This is Morning Report 386 or 7 or something like that. We're honing in on 400, baby. We're getting down into the 400 very, very soon. So we're going to get a little break. We'll be back with more of the program right after these messages. We're back. We are back. Doing video and audio at the same time can be a little weird. So there may be pauses while I make sure that the camera is actually recording. And I'm sure a lot of us have thought we were recording something and spent 15 minutes talking to ourselves and finding out that we didn't record anything. So I'm trying to prevent that, because I would just have to do it again for the camera, and it's already late, so I don't want to do that for camera. I don't know how many people are listening live. We just put the link out on Facebook. Hopefully there'll be people who will tune in live because, it's always so nice the first time. Although the show is kind of like stew. Sometimes you got to put it away and get it out the next day, out of the refrigerator. Tasty, tasty, tasty stuff. All right, let's get started. There are now members of Congress who are hoping to introduce legislation to protect Americans from Biden's medical vaccine mandates. In response to federal vaccine mandates, Republicans in Congress are moving to curb such overreach through legislation. Led by Representative Andy Biggs, Republican from Arizona, 21 members have co-sponsored the Freedom from Mandates Act, which the representative introduced on Friday. The congressman spoke with Henry Rogers and Michael Ginsburg of the Daily Caller about his legislation. The federal government may not force American people to get a vaccine against their will. President Biden's continued attempts to trample the rights and liberties of Americans must not be tolerated. His vaccine mandates are just another example of using fear and division to pit Americans against each other and maintain his control. The American people must be allowed to make their own health care decisions. It is their right, Biggs said. The bill will nullify President Biden's executive orders mandating vaccines for federal employees and contractors. The text also reads that the Secretary of Labor may not issue any rule requiring employers to mandate vaccinations of employees against COVID-19 or regular testing of employees who are unvaccinated against COVID-19. It further adds that the Secretary of Health, Secretary of Health and Human Services may not require healthcare providers as a condition of participation in Medicare or Medicaid program to mandate vaccinations of employees against COVID-19 or require testing of employees who are unvaccinated against COVID-19 and may not otherwise penalize such a provider for such provider's failure to do so, mandate such vaccinations, or require such testing. So this is important. No, this bill says no, you may not do that. No, you may not do that. And if you wonder why I'm making such a big deal about the 2022 elections, that's why. The reality of this is, and this is everything we want. This is everything we want. And it shouldn't just say COVID-19. It should say anything. It should say anything. It shouldn't just say COVID-19. I don't want this to be COVID-19 specific. I want this to be liberty specific. I want this to be freedom specific, which means COVID-19 or anything else. That's what it needs to be. Now we are dealing with COVID-19 at this point. Now also, here's the where the rubber meets the road here. There isn't any way on God's green earth that Nancy Pelosi is going to let this bill get to the floor for an up or down vote. No way. And even if it did, it's going to be split primarily through Republican-Democrat lines, right? And right now there are more Democrats than Republicans in the House of Representatives, so it would fail. But this is a barometer for you and I to check out our own Congress critter. Right now, there are only 22 co-sponsors, which frankly aren't enough. Every Republican in the House of Representatives needs to be a co-sponsor of this bill. Every single one. And right now there are only 21. There are only 22 people who have signed on to this. That's concerning. That is concerning. So, here's your homework. Monday, because this is airing Friday evening, and so Monday, or if it's Monday when you see it, either you see it on YouTube or you see it on Facebook or wherever you see it, here's your homework. Your homework is to call your Congress critter, especially if your Congress critter is a Republican. See, my Congress critter is Kathy Castor. There's no way she's supporting that. That's a waste of breath for me, other than maybe to send her an email asking her to do so. Okay. That is, that's not going to happen. I get that. I get my reality. But if you've got a Republican representative, get with them. Let them know that you want them to support this bill. Even though, because we're grown-ups, even though we know that the Freedom from Mandates Act is dead on arrival. The president is never going to sign it. If it were to pass the House and pass the Senate, the president is never going to sign it. This is the same, exactly, you're right. This is exactly the same thing as a repeal of the Affordable Care Act. President Obama was never going to sign it. Ever. He wasn't going to veto his own signature piece of legislation that he had taken on the name for. He called it Obamacare like everybody else. The Republicans were using Obamacare as a pejorative. He said, screw that. You're right, baby. This is Obamacare. I did this. He was never going to repeal it. What this will get us the opportunity to do, my friends, is to see how many people are with us and how many people are against us. It is called the Freedom from Mandates Act. It was introduced on Friday, September 24th, 2021. Every Republican congressperson should be co-sponsoring this bill. Every single one. Let's find out if your girl's doing that. All right, because the president, speaking to reporters at the White House on Friday, said that he is vowing to move forward with federal government mandates that mandate private businesses of more than 100 people to require the Wuhan coronavirus vaccinations. He says, I'm moving forward with vaccination requirements wherever I can. These requirements will cover 2/3 of all workers in America. Now, what's interesting is that somehow the idea is that these people can't get vaccinations if they want to. So he says, so please do the right thing. Do the right thing. Here's the part that drives us all crazy. It's what he said. And I understand there's a lot of misinformation you've been fed out there. So whatever reasonings, research, and hesitation that you may have or I might have, it's misinformation, it's all lies, you've been fed a load of crap, when you know you haven't been. When we can sit here and say aspirin is approved by the FDA as safe and effective, except if you're allergic to it, and then it may kill you. You may bleed out from aspirin. And aspirin's a great drug. Aspirin's penicillin, fantastic drug, except if you're allergic to it, and it could kill you. Maybe. Good thing that it wasn't mandated that everybody take a shot of penicillin, right? Or you couldn't keep your job. Good thing, right? Anyway, he says, I understand there's a lot of misinformation you've been fed out there, but try to look through. Try to ignore it. Try to ignore your conscience. Try to ignore your own intelligence. Get to people you trust. I have. The people who have been vaccinated, and ask them. Really? You want me to get to the people who have been vaccinated and ask them? Really? You want me to do that? Because not everybody who's been vaccinated is saying that I should. You want me to get with the people who have suffered coronary or cardiac problems and get with them and ask them? Joe. 2 weeks ago, as the Afghanistan catastrophe continued to unfold, Biden announced the sweeping mandate. I wonder why. OSHA is reportedly writing a rule to enforce the mandate, but it has yet to be released. The Department of Labor and Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, is developing a rule that will require all employees of 100 or more employees to ensure their workforce is fully vaccinated, or require any other workers who remain unvaccinated to provide a negative test results on at least a weekly basis before coming to work. So I got to let somebody stick a thing up my nose every week so I can go to work. You have to let somebody stick a thing up your nose, or whatever test they start requiring, blood tests, and my guess is that that's going to be at your expense. The shot is free. Well, it's no cost to you. But the test ain't going to be free. You know damn well the test ain't going to be free, right? Right? OSHA will issue an emergency temporary standard. Ain't no such thing as temporary with the federal government to implement this requirement. This requirement will impact over 80 million workers in the private sector businesses with 100 plus employees. WhiteHouse.gov says a number of labor unions, of course, pushed back on the mandate, and some have sued. A group of federal workers and contractors filed suit against the U.S. government over its COVID-19 vaccination mandates, Bloomberg reports. The lawsuit, filed in Washington Thursday, challenges President Joe Biden's executive order earlier this month requiring federal workers to be vaccinated and the U.S. Defense Department's August memorandum that members of the military must be protected against coronavirus. I don't know when people are going to get it. It isn't the medicine. No, it kind of is. It's the mandates. It was never the masks. It's the mandates. It's never the masks. You know, we'd hear stuff like, it's just the mask. Wear it. It's not that hard to wear. It's not that. That wasn't ever the point. And a lot of us allowed that conversation about the comfort and blah, 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 and all that stuff to be front and center. That was never really what should have been front and center. What should have been front and center was the mandate. That's the problem. And that's always been the problem. Even if I believe that the vaccine was safe and effective and was not going to cause, and that wasn't going to go sideways in my body, if it was just like drinking a glass of this delicious coffee, it'd be the mandate that would still be the problem, wouldn't it? It would still be the mandate. All right. One more before we take the next break. Now, I don't know why anybody would be surprised by this, but California, you suck. You absolutely, positively suck. Now, a lot of people have blamed my friend, golly, the name escaped me right now, but I'm blaming Californians. I am blaming Californians for this. Californians, you have blood on your hands. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed 2 bills this week that would allow minors to receive abortions and gender-affirming health care services unbeknownst to parents. So, they can go and get an abortion. A girl, 14-year-old girl, can go get an abortion, get surgery, which sometimes is dangerous. Even in the best situations, occasionally abortions go sideways and cause bleeding and cause infertility, and it's not like getting your fingernails clipped. It's not like going and getting a manicure or a pedicure. It's not. It's not even like going to get a tattoo. It's invasive. Nothing is. It can't be any more invasive. So things can happen. Mistakes can be made. Infections can happen. All sorts of things can happen. And California now allows children to go do these things without anybody notifying a parent. I don't care what your view on abortion is. I couldn't give a rat's ass what your view on abortion is right now. You got to think that ain't right. That's dangerous. That's slipping into some scary territory. Scary territory. Now, they can also go get some gender-affirming health care. Now, we're not even sure what the hell that is, right? We're not even sure what that is. The second bill, and that's the second bill, it's AB, Assembly Bill 1184, protects the privacy of patients who receive sensitive healthcare services, including reproductive health care and gender-affirming care, by ensuring the patient information be kept confidential if they are not the primary policyholder for their health insurance. The text of AB 1184 says sensitive sensitive services are defined as all healthcare services related to mental and behavioral health, sexual and reproductive health, sexually transmitted infections, substance use disorder, gender affirming care, and intimate partner violence. So, your kid, 15, can go get all this stuff done, get looked at, get all this stuff done, and you can't know a thing about it. Not surprising, really, if you think about California. If you're thinking about who these people are and what they're about, I guess it's not. I guess it shouldn't be a surprise to you, right? As any adult insured covered under the health insurance policy, or a minor who can consent to a health care service without the consent of a parent or legal guardian pursuant to state and federal law. What the hell? But it is. All right, here's what some of the Republicans, the Senate Republicans said about this bill. AB 1184 prevents a parent from being informed when their minor child who is 12 years old receives medical services covered by the parent's health care insurance. All you get to do is pay for it. All you get to do is pay for it, mom and dad. You get to pay for that abortion that went bad. You get to pay for that that mental health counseling for your 12-year-old boy that you didn't know anything about. You get to pay for it. But that's all you get to pay for. We should be encouraging parents and families to be involved in their children's lives. You see, but these kind of bills are, what they're affirming is that these children that you have don't belong to you. Joy Reid has said it on MSLSD. These kids belong to the collective. They belong to the society. They belong to government. They belong not to you. They belong to you. So when we say that they're coming after our children, we think we know how they're coming after our children, but you most of y'all got that wrong. You know, the gays aren't coming after your children to have sex with them. They're coming after your children to allow the gays to do whatever the hell they want. That's how they're coming after your children. They're coming after your children's morals. They're coming after your children's sense of fair play. They're coming after your children's religion. They're coming after Christianity in and through your children. That's how they're doing it. Yeah, so when you say, are they coming after your children? Well, yes. Beto O'Rourke had to say it out loud. Yes, we're coming for your guns. Yes, we are. And then we sit and we pretend that somehow we should be working together. I'm personally, if I can take a sidetrack here, man, I'm going to. I am sick to death of conservatives and Republicans saying stupid crap like, we got to be working together. To do what? No, we should not be working together. We ain't got nothing to work together on. Not when we see crap like this. I'm not here to unify. I'm not here to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. I'm not. Take a little break. We'll be back with more of the Morning Report right after these messages. Welcome back. Appreciate you being with us here. If you happen to be one of the few people who are listening live, thank you ever so much. We appreciate that greatly. Let's finish up. The story, the distraction of the week, is a picture of Border Patrol agents on horseback attempting to prevent Haitians from illegally crossing the United States. And we see them spinning their reins. The reins are the things that are attached to the bit that's in the horse's mouth that move them from side to side. And what they're trying to do is actually keep people away from the horses. They don't want people to hurt the horses. The horses are like, if you shoot a police dog, it's just like shooting a police officer. If you hurt a police animal like a horse is just like hurting a border patrol agent. So they are trying to protect the horse and at the same time trying to make sure that the horse doesn't rear up and get spooked or whatever and hurt the border patrol agent or somebody else or one of the assailants. So we saw that, and of course the corporate media and the mainstream media had this instant narrative that they were whipping these Haitians. It was worse than slavery. And I don't know how it was worse than slavery. You could have stayed where you were and not been on the border having to deal with these horses and these border patrol agents. You could have just stayed where you were in your own whole country. Don't know how it was worse than slavery. Slavery, people were rounded up and put on boats and shipped against their will halfway across the world. These people came of their own free will. I don't see how you can compare it to slavery. But the left is really good about that kind of stuff. The president says that the people who've done this are going to pay, and has decided that horses can no longer be used. So he has put more border patrols in harm's way, and at the same time put more assailants in harm's way, because now instead of horses, they can use trucks, they can use cars, and they can use firearms. More people are going to get hurt. But the photographer who took the picture of the Border Patrol agents on horseback attempting to prevent Haitians from illegally crossing the United States is speaking out after the Democrats and mainstream media falsely accused the agents of using whips on Haitians and by using his photos to say so. Speaking with KTSM, Paul Reich said that he and his colleagues never saw agents whipping anyone. I've never seen them whip anyone. He was swinging it, but it can be misconstrued when you're looking at the picture, he said. Reich's eyewitness accounts dismantles the prevailing narrative conjured up by Democrats and the mainstream media that who have accused the agents of using equipment that they are not issued. They're not issued whips. And, of course, being racist. They're being racist. The agents in question are under investigation by the Department of Homeland Security, and the entire unit has been ordered to stop operations in the Del Rio sector. Yeah, they have been asked to stop. Stop doing your job. Let people across. Let people who are unvaccinated, untested for COVID, and every damn thing else, just let them in. The agents in question, a source within the Border Patrol previously explained at Town Hall what people got wrong about the incident. Agents use their reins for a lot of reasons. Primarily, it's used to steer the horse, because that's what you use the reins for. But agents will also spin them sometimes to deter people from getting too close to the horse. If they get too close, the horse can step on them, breaking bones and causing other injuries. Not only to the assailant, but to the assailants, but the horse too. Agents also need to maintain control of their reins so they don't lose control of the horse, which can cause injuries to immigrants, agents, and the horses. We are not aware of anyone being struck with the reins. Details, context. During his press conference on Friday, President Joe Biden said the agents involved in the incident will pay for something we have known for a long time. It never happened. The horse unit now is not doing patrols at the moment. John Afferson, president of the Border Patrol Local 2366 in Del Rio, said the open border is now less secure. Here's what he said. The Horse Patrol Unit is an effective means of apprehending immigrants who illegally cross our borders every day, along with searching for those who are sick, injured, and stranded in the brush. Suspending them all for even a brief moment of time takes away one of the few remaining units that have been in the field making arrests and rescues on a regular basis. When the rest of our agents are indoors processing, unable to make arrests, and rescues of their own, we should be using all resources we have to patrol the border. So, in response to Biden's threat, Epperson said, how can President Biden continue with this false narrative when the reporter who took the picture of the horse patrols has already said nobody was whipped? What happened to due process? That's cool. Oh, that's nice. What happened to due process? Mr. Epperson, welcome to what some people, some Americans say they wanted. I saw a guy at my second job today. He was wearing he was a guest who came in. He was wearing a Mean Tweets 2024 shirt. I told him I thought it was a great shirt because that's what you traded in. You traded that in for this. They traded mean tweets in for this, and Afghanistan, and COVID mandates, and I'm going to shut down the virus, not the country, and the gas prices, and the food prices, and the general inflation. You traded in mean tweets for what you got now. My name is Willie Lawson. This has been the Morning Report for September 24, 2021. This is the Morning Report 386. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.